Welcome to today's edition of Engineering Success Profile Editions. Today we're talking to Ahsana Nabilah Choudhury, who is a software engineer at JP Morgan. Hi Ahsana, and welcome to the show.
Hello Jamie, thank you very much for having me.
It's great to have you here today. Can we start right at the beginning? What made you choose, or why did you choose a career in engineering?
So the reason why I chose a career in engineering was pretty much by chance, really. I kind of fell into engineering.
Right.
I remember when I was younger, I wanted to go into something creative. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist, with the easel and the paintbrush and all of that.
Yeah.
And I just loved going into and doing like creative stuff and like writing and drawing and things like that.
Yeah.
So technology for me when I was younger was seen as something quite the opposite. So I was in school in the mid 2000s to the late 2000s.
Right.
And so learning to code wasn't really in the syllabus back then. And if we think about it, Facebook was only just founded in 2005. So quite a lot of stuff was starting out really.
Yeah.
So I discovered a blogging site called Tumblr in 2010. So that was during the summer holidays between finishing school and starting college.
Right.
And so again, that was by chance really. Because a lot of my friends were on Tumblr, and then I thought, oh, let's see what this is. It looks kind of cool, it looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
And so then I realized that you can like create your own websites and customize your blog through coding.
Right. Okay.
And so then I taught myself how to code on there. And like I just taught myself learning HTML and CSS and things like that. And then I would just customize my blog all the time. I just loved it, really.
Amazing, yeah.
So then I would just like experiment it and then showcase it to my friends and just get feedback. And I didn't know at the time, but like I was like learning how to code and just showcasing my deliverables and artifacts and stuff to what would be my audience, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I discovered through that tech can be creative, and it isn't mutually exclusive. Like the whole STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, all that is also creative. It's not mutually exclusive. You don't need one or the other, and there's a huge intersection between the two. And so then that's what really got me energized into it, and then that's what I realized that's what I want to go into in the future.
Right, that's an amazing story, that, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So what route did you take then into the industry?
So the route that I took into the industry would be something a bit more of a traditional approach. So I went to college and did a mixture of A levels and BTECs. I did my degree, and then I did a placement in between my second year and final year, and then I started my career. So to go back to the start, so I did like a mixture of A levels and BTECs. So I did A level English language, A level critical thinking, and and BTEC diploma in IT. And I also did AS level digital filmmaking, because I was on YouTube at the time, and so then and again, me being me, I wanted to do something creative. So I just picked up IT as a filler subject because at the time I was 16 and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just picked all the subjects based off of what I was interested in. And so I needed one extra subject. So then I thought, okay, let's just pick up IT. All I need to do is just go just the 1 year and then be on my merry way. I mean, well, I did go through the 1 year and the year after that, and the year after that. So then it got to a time where I needed to choose what I wanted to do for university. So then, because of Tumblr, really, I decided to pick up computing as my undergraduate degree at the University of Portsmouth, because it was quite a broad syllabus, and that's what interested me a lot about it, because I could just see through like the entire SDLC, the software development lifecycle. So analysis, design, development, databases, web development. It had everything I loved, and it felt like me. So I just thought like I'm naturally gravitating towards this, so
Yeah.
I should really follow what's in my heart.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so then that's where my passion grew, really. Throughout my time in university, I had like so many opportunities. I'm very thankful for that as well.
Yeah.
So then after my second year, I began my placement year at a defence and aerospace company called BAE Systems.
Yeah.
As an industrial placement student, and primarily working within the business intelligence and data analytics space, and supporting the Royal Navy. It taught me a lot throughout that year as well, and I really found my passion for data visualization from there as well. And it really helped me grow as a person and as a professional too. It kind of was the cornerstone of my career, and really helped me build the foundations of who I am today. So then I graduated from the University of Portsmouth after completing my final year, after returning to university after finishing my placement. And I was also the prize winner for the Best Business Solutions project of 270 people.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And I also presented my project at 2 conferences. So one was at the University of Portsmouth and another was at BCS Women Ada Lovelace Colloquium in Aberystwyth, which was super, super cool. And it was such a great experience for me, and it was just amazing. So after graduating, I returned to BAE Systems as a business solutions developer, and then after that I progressed to JP Morgan and began my career as a software engineer.
Amazing. That's an amazing story. So at JP Morgan, as a software engineer, what does your role actually entail?
So what we do at JP Morgan as a software engineer is that we basically create solutions that see through the entire life cycle of change. So that would cover from analysis through to go live into production. So we communicate with stakeholders. Sometimes they can be from all around the world, which is so cool as well. And it's very, very diverse, and just you get to meet so many amazing, knowledgeable industrial professionals as well.
So what's the most challenging part of your job?
So the challenging part, I would say, well, challenges are good, and so less of challenges and then more of opportunities. Because they get you out of your comfort zone, and that's the area where you're most likely to learn, and you're kind of putting yourself out there really, and you grow as a person and you transform into a more knowledgeable professional. And so the less of a challenge and the more of an opportunity. So I'd say opportunities would be to dive into the deep end. And so because you're exploring a new domain, you're educating yourself in things that you don't have much experience in really, and you're kind of expanding your skill set, and you're diversifying your knowledge as well. And you get to collaborate with lots of different teams that you might not have been able to collaborate with before, and you kind of transform into another person the next day really. So who you are yesterday could be completely different to who you are tomorrow, and that's just amazing because you have that knowledge and you have that experience, and as a result you upskill and you gain this valuable skill set really. So and also you rarely drown when you're in the deep end. You'll always swim to the top.
You do, that's right.
There's always going to be floaties when you're in the water. You'll never be on your own. There's always going to be like someone there to support you.
Absolutely.
So you're not really at the deep end, and it's just diving in, and then you'll always swim to the top, and then you'll just see, hey, I'm actually a strong swimmer, and I can do this.
It's a brilliant way to look at challenges. Absolutely. So for you, what's the most rewarding part of your position?
I'd say what the most rewarding part of my position would be seeing the deliverables that I build out in the real world and in the industry. It demonstrates how much it means to the people and the end users, and like the significance of it as well. And then you just realize that how impactful technology can be, because everything that you do is very influential really, and it plays such a big part in our day-to-day lives. and what you do and what you build and what you deliver, it means so much to so many people. So for some, it could just be like, oh, I contributed to this project and then I delivered it. But to someone else, it could be quite life-changing, really.
Yeah. So what skills do you think are needed to become a software engineer?
So the skills that I think that I needed to become a software engineer would be an equal balance of technical skills and soft skills as well.
Yeah.
Of course, technical skills, so then you have the knowledge and the experience to solve the problem in front of you. I'd say it's like a jigsaw puzzle, really, like one of those 1,000-piece jigsaws.
Yeah.
So like no one really knows how to code everything off by heart, but you do know how to put different pieces together.
Right.
And those little pieces soon germinate into the big picture. And it's the same thing as well when you're building artifacts. You have what there is to be expected right in front of you. You have that big picture in front of you. And so then you have the little pieces and you're putting them together.
Right.
And so then that would be the technical skills. And plus, there's always other people you can lean on to collaborate with and to ask questions. And there's also going to be like previous examples of the deliverables they can also use as points of reference. And plus, there's like lots and lots of resources available in the network and online as well to just help you get the pieces together as well. So even if you're thinking, hey, let's just get a second guess on this syntax here, I just want to make sure that's right, you could always just like look on Mozilla or Stack Overflow as well, and just reinforce that learning too. On the other hand, you also need soft skills to like hone in the fundamentals of being a technologist, I would say. And I think that's kind of like, that's definitely as important as technical skills, because as a technologist, it is very, very highly collaborative. You need to do team working, you need to communicate with others, and you can also work independently, but there's also like times where you will need to work with other people. And of course, problem solving as well. So you'll be working with like lots of people or lots of teams throughout your career, that you'll be communicating with like lots of stakeholders too. And you need to understand how to translate this jargon, this technical language, into simple terms for those who do not have the same level of domain knowledge as you. So whereas you might have like 2 years or 3 years of knowledge in something, it might be completely new to other people, and vice versa. You need to understand how you can translate that into something that's more understandable, because we were all at day one at some point in our lives, in our careers. And I'd say that tech is a lot to do with problem solving. And so don't be afraid to be innovative. That's what technology is. That's what the tech space is. It's always so creative, and there's always new ideas and lots of fresh perspectives. And plus, there are multiple pathways to the same destination as well. So it's not always black and white. There's like lots of gradients in between too.
So you're a keen blogger, and you have a passion for writing. Can you share with us some more about the topics you blog, your blog covers, and why do you think it's so important that you share these experiences?
So my blog is a tech and beauty blog, so it is a bit of a niche genre. So I chose that genre because I wanted to use it as a platform to challenge the gender stereotypes that are quite prevalent in STEM. I want to show through my blog that you can be interested in both beauty and STEM and like these traditionally feminine interests. It's not mutually exclusive. It doesn't really implicate your credibility in one or another. You can like both, and you don't have to choose between the two. So the topics that my blog cover, they're quite centered around this genre, but they also include photo diaries from like conferences and travel from when we could go once upon a time. And I do think it's quite important to share these experiences as a means of paying it forward to others. So you can participate in conferences, tech talks, and community outreach. But blogging is also another way to pay it forward because it is out there on the internet and it can be accessed by like and viewed by like anyone around the world. And I think that's just amazing. It's just out there for a vast space. So my recent posts have been focusing on confidence building, because I think that's what a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do want to fight that inner critic within themselves, and they want to just get out of that shell. And I was like that as well once upon a time, and I am quite happy with where I am in terms of confidence, and I want to share that experience with others and show that there is light out of the tunnel, and there is a way to get out of that shell and just stay out that shell, and just like embrace these opportunities and feeling the fear, because it's an amazing adrenaline rush, really. My other posts also cover coding communities. As we are indoors now, there's a lot of ways to get involved digitally and remotely as well. I'm currently collaborating with Code First Girls and teaching university students from Leeds Beckett University web development as well. So that's been like really good fun, and the students are just amazing. They've been showing a lot of great potential. I'm just really proud of them too. And I've also covered trainees into technology, just showing that there's like lots of different pathways into this industry. It's not always traditional as well. You could always just like challenge the status quo and learn how to code yourself, and also still hone a career in this space. So I always think, what would you say to your past self? Like, what would you say to yourself like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, even 10 years ago? And my blog is a good opportunity for that as well.
Absolutely.
I didn't have many platforms to refer to when I was starting out as a technologist or a software engineer, or even like when I was starting my degree. I was a big subscriber of Barbara Rossi on YouTube, and she shared her experiences on pharmacy, because she was in university at that time studying pharmacy as well. And at the end of each academic year, she'd cover like what she learned and what her advice is. And that's what inspired me the same for computing as well. And I wanted to share my experiences, especially to those who are starting out and those who are in university, because there aren't many resources around, or at least there wasn't at the time.
No, absolutely. So what would your advice be to a future software engineer?
So my advice to future software engineers would be to be continuous in all that you do. And I say to be continuous in your learning, because technology is always developing at a fast and dynamic space. It's always shape-shifting. I guess you could say it's like the Wolverine of STEM. And you should always continuously challenge yourself and continuously develop yourself, and to always take the opportunity to get yourself like out of your comfort zone, and to just say yes to things that scare you and excite you, because that's where you learn the most. Tech in itself is continuous. It is ever evolving, and that's what makes it so exciting, because it's always so different. What was here now wasn't there in 20 years ago. We didn't have streaming services, and we would go to Blockbuster, but now as time went on, more and more industries pivoted to digitizing their space, and to reach more people at a global scale. And it's quite exciting to think about what might be on the horizon as well in 20 years' time too.
Absolutely.
And I think you should also be inquisitive and learn from others. Be a sponge and absorb that knowledge.
Absolutely,
Listen to people's stories and learn about their journey. And mentoring is great for this as well, because you can learn a lot from others who are more experienced, and kind of learn from the lessons and that they've learned too.
So there are many different industries where software engineers are required, and each has a very different role. So how do you find the right fit for you?
To find the right fit for you, I say to utilize your early career as a means to experiment, and this could be like through internships or work experience as well. there's like lots of different spaces to get involved in and to find the right fit for you. And hundreds and hundreds of companies around the country offer spring internships and summer placements and industrial placements as well.
Right.
So there's always going to be something fit for you, whether it's you want that thing, but it's not the right time. So say like you can't commit to it in spring, there's always going to be something in the summer.
Yeah.
If you want something that's a bit more long term, so then you can really get your get your knuckles in really. There's also industrial placement as well, and things that are going on for like a year long and spring insights. And so this can give you the opportunity to see what you like and what you want to develop in and see where you want to go long term. But it also gives you the opportunity to see what you don't really enjoy. And I think you should question yourself why, and ask yourself like what it is. Why don't you enjoy that specific field? And see what areas you might be missing out on, if it's something that you don't understand, and then see if you can find someone as a support network to help you out, and then see how you feel too. And I think vice versa as well, with things that you enjoy too.
Yeah. So finally, we know the importance of promoting STEM engineering to young people. What would your message be to a young person to attract them to a career in engineering?
So I'd say that to a young person, to attract them to engineering would be that engineering itself is a very exciting field, because as I said, it's always so fast, it's dynamic, and it's always shape shifting and transforming. So what you're doing today can be different to what you're doing tomorrow, and that's what's so exciting, because it's never the same, and you're always there, you can always learn, and it has a big impact to what society does and things that we do in our day-to-day lives. Technology can help in accessibility and sustainability, and as well as many other areas in society as well. And young people, they have the potential to, they see the world differently, and they can diversify these artifacts and to make it a bit more equitable, because some people might not be able to see things that other people can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what's so important for them to get involved, because at the end of the day, people will always be the end user. If it's robotics, even as well, it's still going to be a person at the end of the chain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what's important, just to get like different people from different backgrounds and different ages and different domain experiences all together, and to collaborate and to build and deliver. And then you can make more equitable and diverse deliverables. And of course, like when you're starting out, and especially as a young person, you might be a bit scared, because you might be a little fish in such a big sea. But but you'll always have the guidance and support from like so many diverse and experienced professionals, and they'll always help you along with your journey, and they'll always enrich your pathway. They'll always be there for you to lean on and support, and so you'll never be alone. Even when I was starting out, I always had like such a great support system. And my mentors have also paid such a massive impact to how I am as a person and as a professional. Even my teammates and my colleagues, and even throughout my entire career as well, and the contacts that I've made, they've made such a big impact and really shaped me into who I am today. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, that's a good place to finish. Ahsana, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you.
It's been brilliant to have you here.
Thank you.